You never get there.
Yeah.
Do you ever get it all? No, you continue to adapt and to change and to seek understanding, to improve your cultural intelligence, to pursue accommodation, not assimilation. So, for instance, let's say you have a church. Let's say you have a church. It's all white,
Hmm.
and then after the leadership gets involved, and people think, and all of a sudden now you've got some measure of good diversity in your pews. All right. Well, if you think about sanctification, that would be a step up the ladder, right? In terms of maturity, et cetera, because you were all white and now you have diversity in your pews. So we give you a thumbs up, like a plus sign. Great. That's good. But but when you look at that, we look at your leadership page and the way that your staff and the way you do church, and it's pretty much an all white way of doing things or a white way
Hmm.
of thinking things. So you get a negative on that, right? And what can you improve? And that leads to a question mark, right? So what do we do to move? So it's great, we got diversity in the body, but not on staff, not at the level of leadership, and so that begins to shift our forms and practices to welcome the other. And so you make some moves on that. And maybe now you've got some hires and you're empowering some diverse leaders throughout the body, or you're doing things like you just did, which falls under a category of promoting a spirit of inclusion. And you're trying to get away from just this assimilated diversity into this accommodation of diversity.
Okay.
And where the difference is in assimilation, you're asking the other, whoever the other is, to check his or her culture at the door and to assimilate into this culture. But accommodation is when leadership continues to adapt and to shift in forms and focuses to welcome the other. So, what does that look like? Your
Ooh.
church has one way of doing worship and it appeals to one group of people.